UFC Vegas 107 is an Apex card that's headlined by two women. But before you rage smash the TV dinner your mother microwaved for you, let me remind you that this is the number 4 ranked woman in the world versus the number 5 ranked woman in the world. And this fight has actual title implications. The co-main event is also an absolute banger. My name is Angelo. This is We Want Picks. And I'm going to break down the entire UFC Vegas 107 fight card, giving you my picks, predictions, and bets. But before we do that, let's spend 30 seconds to talk about UFC Vegas 106. UFC Vegas 106 was actually a pretty fun fight card. We lost the co-main event after the card had started, so we only ended up with 11 fights. The main event went as expected, and almost every fight did, because of the 11 fights, 10 favorites won. Only one single underdog on that entire card won, and that was Gabe Green, who was steadily losing that entire fight before his young UFC newcomer opponent did some dumb shit. If you want my full raw reaction that I filmed immediately following the event, look for the Home Alone thumbnail. It is on the YouTube channel at We Want Picks. After you do that, go check out the safety parlay at UFC Vegas 106. The safety parlay hit. If you don't know what that is, it's a single bet. Every single fight card, I put up a parlay. I stamp the word safe on it, despite this being a very volatile sport to bet on. And way more often than not, it hit. Safety parlay is now officially 6 of the last 7. Been absolutely steamrolling. It has been doing unbelievably well. And UFC Vegas 106 had a plus money safety parlay. To call a bet safe and have it be at plus money is the merging of two divine forces. And those forces merged and things went really well. If you do want to check out the safety parlay and every other pick, bet, or tool that we offer right now, just go to WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member. It's freaking $10. And that $10 gives you an entire month's worth of access. Here's a look at those cards. You can get UFC Vegas 107, UFC 316, and UFC Atlanta. If you unlock premium right now on the website, we have 15 units of bets already. Not just for UFC Vegas 107, but future cards as well. Unlock every single one of these at WeWantPicks.com. Everything we do is available inside of an app. Search the App Store for We Want Picks. Download the app and make sure push notifications are turned on, because when we place bets, you get push notifications. So you get to see the bets long before those odds have no value anymore. App is 100% free, available in the App Store. And finally, I mentioned UFC 316 is around the corner. We film vlogs for pay-per-views. If you want to send a letter or send something for us to open or read on the vlogs, here is the address. We Want Picks, P.O. Box 406 in Prosper, Texas, 75078. This card ends with a lady main event, and it will start with a lady opener. We have Rayanne dos Santos, potentially Rayanne Amanda, depending on your book, taking on Alice Ardelean. Rayanne Amanda, or again, Rayanne dos Santos, is an aggressive grappler. She's got fluid and busy striking. She's incredibly light on her feet. She got constant movement and good activity. She doesn't really get overly aggressive with the wrestling, but when she gets it to the ground, she's got a great balance of ground and pound as well as position over submission. She'll keep pressure. She'll stay busy. She will look for those submissions, but after settling in, her takedown defense is as solid as it can be at this level with nice sprawls. She does turn it into a takedown of her own, meaning you're going to shoot a takedown. She will stuff it, push you forward, and then shoot her own. She's coming off that questionable loss to Pooja Tamar, where although she did not wrestle, she did march forward and she did stay busy striking. She's taking on OnlyFans superstar Alice Ardelean. Before you get all freaky deaky, pause this video, drop the drawers, and start searching for Alice Ardelean on OnlyFans. I don't think it's what you think it is. I think it's all just like memes and joking around. I could be dead wrong. I'm sure one of you weirdos will let me know. But Alice Ardelean was signed by the UFC because of that social media notoriety, because of the millions of followers that she has across the board. And even though she is winless in the UFC, she's still here. She still has a job. And that's because she moves forward and she fights. Her fights are not necessarily boring, and while she's not the most talented fighter on the planet, she is a busy striker. She'll mix in a bunch of different techniques. She can be sloppy, but she is busy and such a gamer that she has moments of success. She's not afraid to get into a dog fight. You thought I was going to say slug fight there, but I said dog fight. I'm showing a little bit of respect. She does have 7 losses, which is a bit embarrassing, but a few of those are to quality people like Wei Li Zhang, Diana Belbita. She's coming off that decision loss to Melissa Martinez, where we saw the pressure, we saw the toughness, but she was also saved by the referee in a mistake in that 3rd round. She was about to be finished. Ref thought it was a low blow, stops the action. It wasn't. It was just an absolute nasty shot to the body. I've picked Alice in her last 2 fights, so I could not have been more wrong. And maybe I'm simping. Maybe. Simping ain't easy because you're losing bets betting on Alice Ardelean. The reality is, while I do think she got screwed in her UFC debut, I thought she won that fight. I have not seen any real improvements. It's not as if she came in the UFC debut, had some jitters, loses a close one that maybe she shouldn't have lost, and then in her next fight, oh, okay, this is what her potential can be. Here, no, none of that. It's the exact same person every single time. She's tough, she's a gamer, but that technique just isn't there. And I imagine in a full 15-minute decision, Rayanne dos Santos is going to be the better fighter for longer periods of time. Therefore, Rayanne's going to have to be the pick. It's that simple. I think Rayanne's going to get Alice against the cage, or Alice going to get Rayanne against the cage, but Rayanne's going to be able to circle off. Rayanne's going to be able to get her hands going. Rayanne's going to be able to get some takedowns if she needs to. I'm going to go with Dos Santos here. I think she's the overall better fighter. Alice is tough as hell. Like I said, might have some moments of success. I do think this goes to a decision, but if I have to score each individual round, I'm going to go with Dos Santos there to probably win 2 out of 3 of these rounds. And what that means, at these odds, with Alice being an almost 3-1 underdog, if she wins a single round, we do have an opportunity for that plus 3.5 bet. If you don't know what that is, that's betting the spread. You bet the point spread. You buy points on the judges' scorecards, and then all goes well. She wins at least one single round or potentially wins that fight outright, and you get paid. I imagine that line will be a little bit juiced, but we'll see what it is when it drops because Alice is very tough, and I do think she can steal a round on the books. You may be saying to yourself, is Angelo about to break down the second fight already? I'm only a few minutes into this video. Normally, I'm still deep into the trenches of the pitch. What am I missing? I need the foreplay of a premium pitch before I can hear about these fights. Well, unfortunately for you, the person needs to be warmed up before you steadily get absolutely drilled with knowledge. We're going to try something new here. We're going to breeze right through the intro. Focus on a few things like the safety parlay going 6-1 in the last 7. Talk about the fact that we have 15 units of bets on the board already for future events. Mention WeWantPicks.com once or twice. Talk about how it's only $10 for an entire month, and then bang, right to the fights. So if you need the foreplay, my bet, you're going to have to rewind, watch that intro 3-4 times. If you want to get right to the point, here we go. We're getting to the point. But my analytics tell me that we have 35,000 subscribers, but 80,000 unique viewers. And there's a huge gap between those numbers, which means there's a giant percentage of you that watch these videos week after week, but have not clicked that subscribe button. So here's a little bit of a trade, a little quid pro quo. I'll shorten that intro, which may or may not negatively affect premium signups. We'll find out. But you, if you haven't clicked that subscribe button, do that. You do me a favor, I'll do you a favor. But seriously, though, go to WeWantPicks.com. It's a phenomenal service with quite literally the best tools in the space and the unbelievable value of $10 a month. Every weirdo dork is trying to sell something on Patreon for way more than that, and they offer absolutely fucking nothing. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. Second fight in the card, we have Mederos taking on Bolaji Oki. This is a very good card. I'll tell you right now, I'm a little scared. And the reason I'm a little scared is last night's UFC Vegas 106, we saw every single favorite win except one, and that dude was losing his fight before he squeaked it out when his opponent made a decision. I'm about to pick a dog in this fight, and there's a bunch of dogs on this card that I like. I've actually had to talk myself out of a few dogs, so I'm like, this is too many. I'm picking too many. Tone it down. But we're about to pick one here. Spoiler. Mederos is going to be the pick, but let me walk you through their skill sets and why. MarQuel is a good striker. He strings together combinations. He throws up some solid volume. He is insanely comfortable in fights, and he does start to flow really well. He is primarily a striker. He can grapple, though, with some slick takedowns, good takedown defense, and some nice submissions. He's coming off that close win over Austin Hubbard, where the striking looked good, but he was taken down, slowed down, he was defensively sound on the feet, but he definitely faded as that fight went on. He's taking on Bolaji Oki. Bolaji Oki's a busy striker. He's got a good jab. He's got lots of power. He likes to pump that jab out there to set things up, and then he will explode in the combinations when he finds his openings. He's got good takedown defense with a fast sprawl, solid takedowns when he wants to use them. He does tend to slow down as well as fights goes on, but he remains dangerous to the bell. His biggest issue, however, is his defense. Somebody with a busy jab, wink, wink, could give him some trouble. He's coming off that unfortunate loss to Chris Duncan, where he was winning, he was having success, good forward pressure, and then he got caught in a guillotine. I think this is just a weird clash of styles. Chris Duncan has showed how tough he is, and he just got a couple of more wins since this Bolaji fight. So, Bolaji's loss to Chris Duncan is aging quite well, is the point there. Bolaji's a decent favorite here, almost 2-1, and it makes sense, right? He's fast, he's dangerous, he's got a ton of power, and it should be striker versus striker. But if I look at these striking styles, MarQuel's a little cleaner. I don't think he's as fast. He's certainly not as powerful, but I think he's a little cleaner. And I think if he pumps the jab and gets through the guard of Bolaji, I think he can have some offensive success. MarQuel Mederos is also very defensively sound, so I'm not as worried about the big power and the big speed coming from Bolaji. And as Bolaji slows down, MarQuel may slow down as well, but he didn't need his speed to begin with. He's got the clean technique, and I think he's more technically sound. I am going with MarQuel Mederos here. He is going to be the pick. And this is another fight where we may get solid odds on a plus 3.5 bet. Maybe MarQuel loses a close decision, but maybe he wins a round. Exact same logic I just gave you with that Alice Ardelean fight. I think MarQuel can outright win this fight, but certainly have some success. We might need these odds to widen a little bit, but we'll see what happens as this fight gets closer. MarQuel Mederos is going to be the flat-out pick. Maybe a safety bet there with the plus 3.5 betting on that spread. Then we have Kurt Holobaugh taking on Jordan Leavitt. I'm going to tell you right now, I am unbelievably biased in this fight. And not biased in a positive way, biased in a negative way. Jordan Leavitt is a straight-up jiu-jitsu nerd. Just a straight-up jiu-jitsu nerd. And I think this sport is long gone with the jiu-jitsu nerds. But hey, he's fighting a 38-year-old man. And he hasn't fought in a year. So let's see what improvements we have. Jordan Leavitt is an old-school grappler. A lot of breakdowns where I talk about he's a well-rounded. He's a forward pressure striker. None of that applies to Jordan Leavitt. None of it. He's a one-dimensional grappler with subpar striking and wrestling. His grappling is fantastic. The problem with Jordan is that because the striking isn't very good and the wrestling isn't very good, he has no real setups to get it to the ground. If you're trying to take somebody down over and over and over, you either need a ton of pressure like Merab, or you need phenomenal striking setups. You need to get worried about your hands before you shoot a takedown. Jordan does none of those things, but if he does get a takedown, he's insanely dangerous on the ground. His jiu-jitsu is absolutely incredible. He's dangerous on top. He's dangerous on the bottom. He is coming off that submission loss, though, to Chase Hooper, who could give a shit about the dangers of Jordan Leavitt's grappling. He's taking on Kurt Holobaugh. Kurt Holobaugh is an Ultimate Fighter winner. He was able to do so late in his career as well. He's 38 years old, but he seems to be having a bit of a resurgence here. Style-wise, Kurt is a come-forward striker. He's got pressure, he's got power. He marches forward, he throws in combinations, then he'll duck out, reset, and do it again. He has some wrestling as well, but he could use a little more takedown defense. His BJJ, however, is also pretty good. That's actually what won him the Ultimate Fighter. He is coming off that questionable loss to Alexander Hernandez where the striking was aggressive and the BJJ was solid. He obviously did give up a round in there, but I thought Kurt had enough success to steal that decision. I think Jordan is a straight-up BJJ nerd. And if you've heard us talk about that term before, then you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, a BJJ nerd is somebody who, instead of acting like this is a fist fight, will pull guard, scoot their ass across the ground like they have a dingleberry, and try to turn it into a grappling match. This is a fist fight. And while Jordan might be scooting his butt across the bottom, I think Kurt's going to be landing elbows. I think Kurt's going to be the better striker. I think Kurt is the all-around better fighter, and as long as he doesn't get stuck in a submission or somehow give up a takedown to the 25% takedown accuracy of Jordan Leavitt, Kurt should absolutely win this fight. I have a plus money bet on him. I bet on him at plus 140. Threw a half a unit on the board. The only reason I didn't do more is he is 38 years old. And the takedown defense is not great. 39% takedown defense. Despite Jordan's takedowns kind of sucking, yeah, you never know what's going to happen. Scrambles are scrambled. This is a fist fight. But Kurt Holobaugh is going to be the pick. I think we, as a sport, need to evolve past these super one-dimensional. Every one of these fighters, if we're thinking about the video game and you're building somebody from scratch, it's like grappling, you drag the bar. Striking, drag the bar. Power, speed, durability. Every one of these people, their bars should be relatively equal. Maybe one's a little better than others. The problem is Jordan Leavitt's like all grappling, cardio, nothing in between. Like striking, all that shit sucks. Kurt Holobaugh's the pick. Then we have Oban Elliott taking on Ramiz Brahimaj. Oban Elliott on a nice little streak here, and the line represents that at 5-1 odds. He is a well-rounded guy. He does have 15 full minutes of cardio, plenty of tools in the bag. When he is striking, he likes to dance around the outside. He'll fire off overhands and come in. He is fast. He's athletic. He's got flashy spins, and the takedown defense is just okay. If he is taken down, though, he works to his feet really well. He doesn't chase submissions that are not there. He understands the assignment. I was taken down. I need to get my ass off this mat and back on my feet where I am good. And a lot of fighters, unfortunately, don't do that. They accept bottom. They'll hang on. They think it's 1996 where if I hold somebody long enough, the ref will stand me up. But Oban doesn't. He creates the scrambles. He gets back to his feet. He's coming off that come-from-behind knockout win over Basel Hafez, where he looked like he was losing before getting that big knockout. He's taking on Ramiz Brahimaj. Ramiz is an accomplished grappler, but he doesn't use it as much as he should, even though he is an accomplished grappler. What's a grassler? Is that dude like SB Mowing who just mows other people's lawns? Is that an accomplished grassler? Just grassing it up? All right, anyway. Ramiz Brahimaj is an accomplished grappler, and despite those grappling accolades, he does tend to grapple off his back. And grappling off of his back is very different than on top. I just mentioned when Oban gets taken down, he creates a scramble, he gets the hell out of there. When Ramiz is taken down, he's like, all right, let's play. Then he can lose minutes. He can get elbowed in the mouth. When he's on the feet, when he's striking, he does have good power in his hands, and he does have some success, but not enough to win a lot of fights there. All 11 of his wins are by finish. 10 of them are by submission. He's definitely a finisher bust fighter at this point in his career. In his last outing, though, we saw some early power in his hands. As long as we all trust Oban Elliott's takedown defense, then this line makes a ton of sense to me. Oban is 100 times the striker that Ramiz is and should absolutely run away here. He's a 4-1 favorite, almost 5-1 favorite, and I imagine these odds were going to be closer to 8-1 come fight night. We saw this with Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns and Michael Morales, the odds were somewhat representative of this. I think Michael Morales is actually less than a favorite here, meaning he was minus 400, minus 350. Then all of a sudden, come fight night, minus 900. I imagine this line's going to do a little bit more of the same. And while Oban is no Michael Morales, what he is a very good striker who can stay off the mat fighting somebody whose only option to win this fight is on the mat. You should hop on this before the value is absolutely 100% gone if you agree with those statements. Then we have Ketlen Vieira taking on Macy Chiasson. This fight was supposed to happen all the way back at UFC Vegas 84, but it fell apart. At the time, I picked Ketlen Vieira. Let's see what I'm going to do this time. Whoa. Dude, I don't know. I'm in a fucking silly mood. What the hell am I doing? It's 7 in the morning. I've been up since 5. My daughter had a sleepover, so there's just like girls screaming till 1 o'clock in the morning. So I don't know what the fuck's going on right now. They're actually already awake. These kids went to bed at 1 o'clock in the morning, and then I sat down to film this. There's a jump cut between the intro and the breakdown, and that's because they're screaming upstairs, like girl screams. So like, what? It's like, nothing. We're all awake. How the hell are you already awake? You sleep 12 hours on a normal day. You got 2 friends over, you slept 5? So I said, stop screaming. Now. No. I said, hey, let me film. I'll get you donuts. And by I mean my wife. We got Ketlen Vieira. Ketlen Vieira is a powerful come-forward striker. She has solid takedowns, good top work. She marches forward, throws heavy. She looks to tie it up, get a trip or an Uchimata in there. On top, she will control. She'll pressure. She'll pound away. She's not fast. She's not very athletic, but she's big as shit. She's strong and she is fundamentally sound. She's coming off that decision loss to Kayla Harrison, where she basically did nothing in that fight. But a lot of that had to do with Kayla was doing everything. She's taking on Macy Chiasson. Macy Chiasson is tall. She is long. She uses that length really well to jab you up and work her Muay Thai. She has a positive striking differential and decent power, but that power is usually coming from the length. If you get past that length, you can have success staying in her face, but when she can keep the distance, she is very good. She is very technical. She has added grappling to her game plan, which has proven to be beneficial. She has 12 takedowns in her last 4 fights, and she's coming off that cut stoppage win over Mayra Bueno Silva at UFC 303. I mentioned this fight was supposed to happen at UFC Vegas 84. It fell apart. At the time, I picked Ketlen, and at the time, Ketlen was a 3-1 favorite. And the only thing that has happened since then is Ketlen lost to Kayla Harrison, and Macy Chiasson beat Mayra Bueno Silva. But did she beat Mayra? Because she was losing that fight. Objectively, losing on the scorecard. Losing that fight. But there was a cut, and the cut is why that fight was stopped. So Ketlen loses to the potential new world champion. We'll find out in a couple of weeks. Macy Chiasson beats somebody because of a cut, and the odds were sliced more than in half. Ketlen is barely a favorite here. I still think Ketlen wins this fight. She is big, she is strong, and hopefully she moves forward, eliminates any of the range, gets that out of the equation and just stays in Macy's face. And if that's the case, I think Ketlen could literally just bully and big sister Macy Chiasson. So Ketlen is going to continue to be the pick. I'll keep an eye on these odds. I hate betting on people coming off a loss. And that might have been a pretty deflating loss for Ketlen. Or maybe it was like, all right, I lost to a judo Olympian. It is what it is. We'll find out. But we'll see what these odds continue to do. If this flips, then I'll bet on Ketlen as a dog for sure. So make sure you have the app installed. You have notifications turned on so that when we do place the bet, you get bzzz. Actually, your ringtone, your notification tone is probably like something real gay. Anyway, your phone will go, ding, and then you'll look at it and be like, oh, Angelo just placed on Ketlen at plus 110. Let me jump on that. Or Angelo just placed a bet on Ketlen, fat fuck, and then you put it down. Either way, at least you were notified. Download the app. Make sure push notifications are turned on. Then we have Jeremiah Wells taking on Andreas Gustafsson. This is going to be an interesting fight. The odds are pretty close, and the general sentiment is that Andreas Gustafsson runs away with this fight. That's the general sentiment. The odds and the public's opinion on this fight don't quite line up. The odds have Andreas winning, so does the public. But the public is like 90% of people have Andreas winning. The odds say, I don't know what minus 135 is as far as implied probability. The line movement tracker on our website will tell you, but it's not crazy. That's not crazy confident. And it's always interesting when that happens. Andreas Gustafsson is a solid grappler. He has actual wrestling skills. And like most wrestlers, he's going to come forward, throw a ton of strikes. Those are designed to back you up against the cage, and then he'll shoot the takedowns. When he gets you to the ground, he's going to soften you up with elbows before looking for submissions. And despite being a grappler, he's got very real power in his hands, and he is always looking for a finish. He was supposed to make his UFC debut a while ago. That was canceled, and now here we are trying it again. He's taking on Jeremiah Wells. Jeremiah Wells is a pretty well-rounded guy. We've seen the power, we've seen the striking, we've seen the grappling. He fights like a big, powerful striker. He explodes with hands, then he will effortlessly transition to grappling. He is a high-level accomplished black belt. He will shoot actual wrestling takedowns. He throws wild and with intent, but the reality is that most of it is there to set up the BJJ. He's coming back after a year away and a couple of losses. This fight should be grappler versus grappler, except one of them isn't old and has power in his hands. Andreas should win here. Okay, I'm going to pick him. He should win. He is younger, he's bigger, he can wrestle, he can grapple, and he does have one-punch knockout power. He is also making his UFC debut, and Jeremiah is not a bum. And yes, he's on a 2-fight losing skid, but they're quality losses. He was beating Carlson Harris before getting caught in a choke. The loss to Max Griffin was pretty close. And I'm going to pick Andreas here because if all else is somewhat equal, he's a little younger, he's got some power, and he's got more ways to win, in my opinion. With all of that being said, we just watched Gabe Green in a similar situation of Jeremiah Wells, coming off back-to-back losses, an extended layoff, fighting a UFC debut. And Gabe Green was losing that fight. And then his dumbass, extra chromosome opponent decided he was going to try a mounted triangle, rode to his own back, lost it, gassed himself out, squeezing his legs, and got finished. So Gabe Green won that fight with good, old-fashioned, veteran savvy. Gabe was not the better fighter technique-wise, skill-wise. He wasn't faster, he wasn't stronger. But what he did have was the experience of fighting high-level people for a very long time. This is the exact same situation, literally. Jeremiah Wells has a ton of experience. Jeremiah Wells is a grizzled vet at this point, and Andreas Gustafsson is making his UFC debut. I don't know if he's stupid. If he's stupid, he's going to make bad decisions and give this fight away. I don't know if he's dumb. So I can't bet on this fight. You can't bet on people if you don't know if they're dumb or not. If I know you're stupid, then at least I have that as a factor, right? This guy's dumb as shit, but he hits hard, and he could do all these things. I'm still going to pick him. Or I need this guy to fight smart or he's going to lose. So if I don't know the IQ, and that's my fault. I thought Matheus Camilo was not stupid. Turns out, stupid. I'm going to pick Gustafsson. Not betting on him. That lesson has been learned. Then we have Jafel Filho taking on Allan Nascimento. This is another fight that was supposed to happen a while ago. It was supposed to happen last August, but it was canceled when Allan had to pull out. At the time, Allan Nascimento was a massive favorite, and Jafel Filho was plus 175. Now he is minus 115. Have the tables, have turned. Oh boy, the turntables have turned. How the tables. We've got a different fight here with different odds. And I think people figured out that Jafel's pretty good. We'll start on the Allan side. He's a fun striker. He likes to grapple as well. He doesn't have much to offer in the wrestling department, but he has no problem getting into a brawl, then getting taken down, trying to work a sweep, a submission from there. Problem is, he can't really get those sweeps or create a scramble when he ends up on bottom the whole fight getting pounded on. He does have some okay power in his hands. He's got a low 26% takedown accuracy and an even worse 16% takedown defense. He is coming off that upset win over Carlos Hernandez, where he was fast, he landed combinations, and was light years ahead on the ground. He's taking on Jafel Filho, though, and being light years ahead on the ground is going to be a tall task because Jafel's a very fast-paced guy. He will engage in a firefight or look to work in takedowns. He can get wild with the striking, but he's fast and he throws heat. His takedown defense is solid. He's got offensive takedowns of his own as well. He's mostly striking to see if you're going to pressure him. And if you do pressure him, he'll start to grapple. If you don't pressure him, he'll just stay striking. He famously had Muhammad Makayev's knee absolutely bent in the wrong direction, somehow didn't rip it to shreds. He's coming off that first round submission win over Ode Osborne, where Ode literally landed 0 strikes. And I think Jafel's going to win here. I picked him last time as a massive underdog. I'm going to pick him again this time. Unfortunately for us, we're not going to quite get those odds again. He's very dangerous. He's good everywhere. He's been far more active than Allan here. But Jafel only has one single decision win, and Allan has never been finished. That's the concern here. I need Jafel to be smart with the aggression, punch himself out. That's the worry. If Jafel comes forward, swinging wild, gasses himself a little bit, that's going to be a problem because I do trust Allan's durability. He's only 33. He's not 40. So I need Jafel to be smart. We talked about Gustafsson. I don't know his IQ. I do know Jafel's IQ. He's got decent fight IQ. We've seen him in precarious situations. We've seen him make the right decisions and do the right things. So I trust Jafel. I wish he had a few more decision wins to lean on other than the one, but I trust him. I think he can win this fight. I think he can win a full decision if he needs to. Jafel is going to be the pick. We're going to watch these odds, see if we can get even better than these minus 115 we have now. He is actually officially the underdog, even though he's minus 115. So I don't know what's going to continue to happen to this line. Last time, all the money was on Nascimento. Nothing's really changed since then. So maybe those same people show up, bet on Nascimento, and we'll get a plus sign in front of the Jafel Filho bet. And before I tell you about Premium and one of the latest additions to it as of this week, let me remind you that we give out bonuses for people who use our affiliate links. If you go to WeWantPicks.com/bets, we have affiliate deals with several different sports books. You use the link, you sign up, you make a new account. They're going to pay us. That's what affiliate means. And then we're going to give some of that money to you. I'm going to slice off $50 and send it your way. It's a pretty straightforward process. You go to WeWantPicks.com/bets. You have to use the link. You have no idea how many emails I get saying, hey, I never got my bonus. What's up? And we look it up and I say, hey, your account is not in the portal. Did you use the link? No, but I used your promo code. We don't have promo codes. You can't just type WWP in every random ass website and think no, we don't have promo codes. You have to use the link, and you have to use the link at WeWantPicks.com/bets. You do that, you get paid. WeWantPicks.com/bets. I mentioned there's a new addition to premium membership. You know, we've got picks and bets and tools and artificial intelligence. The suite of shit that we offer for one single package of $10 a month is absolute insanity. There's quite literally nothing in this space that's remotely close. Nothing. Literally nothing. And I've always said, if you could find somebody that's offering a service that offers what we offer or even close to it, anywhere near our price point, I'll give it to you for free because it literally does not exist. You get weirdos yelling and trying to be cool, selling shit for $20. You get foreigners selling shit for $100. And you get a whole bunch of people in between. Some people are like, well, I'll sell mine for $5. What? 4 bets on a Patreon for $5 is not value. That's not value. Tools is value. Offering DFS content is value. An artificial intelligence is value. More than one capper is value. The latest addition to premium membership, or what I should say is improvement, enhancement, is to the Fight Simulator. Fight Simulator's been up here for a couple of months now. What the Fight Simulator does is it takes every single fight on the card, it simulates them 100 1,000 times. It does the simulations using implied probability, using grappling strats, striking stats. It takes all that information, it simulates the fights over and over and over, and then it gives you the results of those simulations. What we have done is we've tweaked how the results are displayed. So it still does everything it was supposed to do already, but now it's also bringing back underdog fantasy scoring and prize picks fantasy scoring. So now when you play those DFS prop games, you go to whatever fighter you're looking at, you'll see the line. There's a vertical line for the average, and then you can slide that left and right. I just did this for you in the prize picks video. We went to prize picks. We saw what the lines were. And then we went to the fight simulator. We simulated the fights. We pulled up Michael Morales. We saw his fantasy score on the simulator. And then I slid the line over to what prize picks had it has. And the simulator said 99% of these simulations say that he will get over that score. And he did. Does that mean it's going to be a guarantee 100% of the time? No, these are fist fights. What it does say, though, is we just made it easier and more convenient to place more prop bets, to use other fantasy tools. The fight simulator got a big improvement, a couple of tweaks to how it looks, and the data is much easier to interact with. Check out the fight simulator now. It's available under tools in the menu included in your package. We also have the tape index, which was released a few weeks ago. If you like to do tape study, if you want to get ahead, if you want to do your UFC 318 tape study now to get the views in, get the eyes working, get the brain working, and place your bets long before the lines go crazy, you can do that. And instead of scouring the depths of internet hell, we've got it all lined up for you. Under tools in the menu is the tape index. You'll see every fight card, every fighter on those fight cards. You click the fighter, you'll get their full fight history, the results of all those fights. And if it's got a little red play button, you click it, boom, video pops up. You'll watch the video. The DraftKings Optimizer is new as well. We added this about 3 months ago. And we added a brand new industry first beginner mode because I know that the 80,000 of you that watch these videos, the unique viewers across all of our content, not all of you understand what DraftKings Fantasy is, or maybe you do and you want to play it, but you don't know how to use an optimizer. The beginner mode is a fundamentally different way for an optimizer to work. Instead of expecting you to know what the hell you're looking at, this will walk you through it, ask you a few normal human English language questions. You answer those questions, it'll build the lineups for you. And of course, we do have copy-paste bets. We have tools. We have things to empower the users. And then we have what we are doing with our money. I'm never going to tell you what to do with your money other than become a premium member. What I will do is tell you what I'm doing with mine. And what I've been doing with mine lately is printing it with the safety parlay. Safety parlay has been on an absolute heater. 6-1 in the last 7. And that one loss, screw job. Absolute screw job. Check out the safety parlay for not only UFC Vegas 107, but also UFC Atlanta, UFC 316. And you could do all of that inside the app. Just search We Want Picks in the App Store. Make sure push notifications are turned on. Here's the events that I mentioned you'll have full access to. And as of this second, right now, there are 15 units of bets on the board. Not just for these events as well. UFC Baku is on the board as well. Got a couple of bets there. Check it all out. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. And of course, UFC 316 is a vlog because it's a pay-per-view. On pay-per-views, we film the day. We cook good food. People come over. We watch the fights together. We make a whole thing of it. Different content, but it's, in my opinion, pretty fun. And it's a peek behind who we actually are as human beings other than sitting in chairs, yelling at camera, saying who's going to win fist fights. Check out those vlogs when you get a minute. They're a ton of fun. And if you want to send something for us to open or read on the vlog, the address is We Want Picks, P.O. Box 406 in Prosper, Texas, 75078. Let's go ahead and break down this main card. As of right now, for whatever reason, there are only 5 fights on the main card. Typically, fight nights have 6. I don't know why there's only 5 right now. And they've already officially announced the fight order. So maybe they're going to add a fight. We have a little bit of a time here. Or maybe they're just going to roll it. 5 on the main card. I no idea. Maybe they'll move one up. Again, ask me if I have an idea. No. We got Zach Reese taking on Dusko Todorovic. Zach Reese is a frustrating guy to watch because he's big as shit. He's a massive guy at 6'4". He uses the size. He uses the strength really well. But he's also a moron on the ground. He's very well-rounded. He's mostly a powerful striker who absolutely just uncorks with that power. He can wrestle, but he's a bit inconsistent when he uses it. On the ground, he's frustrating because on top, he's great. On the bottom, full BJJ nerd. He will play that dumbass game and try to find submissions off of his back instead of creating scrambles, instead of trying to work for sweeps. He gets way too comfortable. He gives up minutes. He's coming off that knockout loss to Azamat Bakoyev, where the striking didn't look terrible, but he refused to try to get up off bottom. He's taking on Dusko Todorovic. Dusko's a technical striker with power. He also has takedowns and offensive BJJ to round him out. He's a high-volume guy who has almost 6 significant strikes landed per minute. There's definitely some questions about his chin. He's coming off that big knockout loss to Mansour Abdul Malik at UFC Vegas 100. And the jiu-jitsu nerdery of Zach Reese has screwed him more than one time. When he tried to play that game against Cody Brundage, he literally got powerbombed. In his last fight, he was also put out. He's a massive dude for this weight class. He's got powerful hands, but you cannot trust him to fight like an MMA fighter should fight. What you might want to get is a few good exchanges out of him, and then hopefully he sticks with that game plan. What you might actually get is a few good exchanges and then some rolling around on the ground where he's giving up positions for no reason. You can't trust the guy that would rather look for a submission than try to end up on top in a dominant position. We just saw it with Matheus Camillo. I'm not going to get over that. It's going to take me a little while. The sting is fresh. So Zach Reese should win this fight. He's a very powerful striker. He is massive here, and he actually is the better grappler of the two. So I'm going to pick Zach Reese. He should get it done. Dusko's chin is a little questionable. But if Zach ends up on the ground and doesn't stay on top, could screw himself again. Zach Reese is going to be the pick. He should be able to get it done. If you look at the website, we have confidence levels. I have him as a medium confidence here. He should be able to win. He should. But anytime you've seen him make bad decisions before, hopefully he grew out of it. Then we have Dustin Jacoby taking on Bruno Lopez. This could be a fun fight. Dustin Jacoby's a high-level kickboxer. I've mentioned this many, many times before, but he was in the UFC. He left the UFC to pursue kickboxing. At the height of his kickboxing career, he did fight Alex Bejeda and others. He was ranked number 2 in the world. Then he came back to the UFC, had an incredible run of wins, and then just started to come apart. He's not young anymore. He's been striking the entirety of his life, so the chin's a little worn out, but he's still a very good fighter. He does a great job keeping things technical. He will work your legs. He's got good power, good volume, a 62% takedown defense. That number is actually understated. He's got solid takedown defense that he uses to make you pay, meaning you're going to shoot a takedown, he'll defend it, and he'll uppercut you. He'll elbow you. He will make you pay on the way in. You're not just going to get your takedown stuff to reset and try another one. You're going to regret that you even tried. He's coming off that knockout win over Vitor Petrino where he landed a perfect shot, which did prevent a decision loss. He's taking on Bruno Lopez. Bruno Lopez is a forward pressure striker. There's no problem with volume. He starts pretty technical. He throws in combinations, then he gets immediately sucked into a slug fight where he starts winging from the hips. He's a solid grappler as well with decent takedowns, heavy top pressure, and a good ground and pound game. He's coming off that decision win over Magomed Gadzhizov where he had 5 takedowns. I'm going to pick Dustin here because he is the better striker, and he's got very good takedown defense, so that's going to be the pick. But in patented Angelo fashion, I'm going to plant a little bit of seed of doubt here. Dustin does not like forward pressure. He doesn't fight nearly as well backing up as he does moving forward. Bruno Lopez does a great job pressuring forward, and if he stays in Dustin's face, this could get weird. Dustin is still going to be the pick. But the line does reflect a little bit of recency bias for him beating Vitor Petrino. He was losing to Vitor Petrino. Just go check the scorecards. And Vitor ran full speed into a giant punch. That is what happened in that fight. So the recency bias has Dustin as more than a 2-1 favorite here, but just be a little careful. I think he's going to win. I think he's fine to bet. I don't need to see comments. I had him in 9 parlays. Oh, I got fucked. 9 parlays. What are you doing? Why are you overly exposed to anyone? These are still fist fights. There's no reason to take anybody, except maybe Michael Morales, anybody into 25 different parlays. Then we have Connecticut's own Billy Ray Golf taking on Sung Hyung Ko. And this is going to be a great fight because Connecticut tends to step up and do what they're supposed to do and represent everything quite well. Everybody I know from Connecticut's a stand-up guy. Everybody you know from Connecticut is too. The Nutmeg State. Let's talk about the other side first. Suk Hyung Ko, and I fucking, the way I said suck there, like that's, I'm sorry. I'm trying to pronounce it the way Shakunko. I'm trying. No malintent. I'm trying. Okay, you saw what happened when I said Gadzi Jazulov. Ko is a heavy-handed striker. He can work in takedowns. He is stiff as hell. And not the way you are when you listen to me. A different kind of stiff. But with that stiffness does come power. He's not particularly fast. He is powerful. Everything he throws is heavy, and half the time it's wild. He has a decent sprawl, but if he is taken down, he doesn't have much to offer. He's a fun guy to watch. He can certainly find power in any exchange. He's taking on Billy Ray Goff. Billy Ray Goff's a well-rounded guy with clean boxing and a solid clinch. He also has very good wrestling and grappling that he uses if he gets into trouble or catches a kick. When he does get a takedown, he has incredible top control and pressure. He's got solid cardio. He will push a pace, and he is an absolute dog. He's coming off what felt like a bad decision to Trey Waters, which was absolutely fight of the night, and it was a war. Connecticut's a pretty small state, but it's home to some of the toughest, best-looking people on the planet. I'm not even talking about me. People like Glover Teixeira, Dan Kramer, Parker Porter, Alex Bejeda, and now Billy Ray Goff. And before you make some dumbass fucking loser comment about Parker Porter, A, he's my personal friend in real life. B, that dude is 5-4 in the UFC. Which is more than we can say about 90% of the people we break down in these fights. All these random Dana White Contender Series people losing their asses, getting sent home. I don't know how Parker turned into a meme. I literally have no idea. He's got quality wins and the losses are good. The 4 people he lost to are to the Taffa brothers, very good strikers, Jalton Almeida, who might be a world champion, and Chris Daukaus. But the Chris Daukaus fight was on short notice after he had a newborn. He had a newborn. And a few weeks later, and if you have kids, most of you are virgins, but the ones of you who are not that had kids, it is exhausting. He came off the couch, made his UFC debut. After that, got a couple of quality wins over some quality people. Parker's a great, he's a friend, great dude, and he has 5 wins in the UFC. 5. So Connecticut has been represented quite well for a tiny-ass state in the UFC. And I think Billy Ray Goff will continue forward with that flag. Billy's a dog. He's an absolute dog. He's willing to brawl. He's going to really get in your face. He'll shoot takedown. He will fight you anywhere this fight needs to go. And I think that's what matters here. Kyo has some power, but when I say he's stiff, go to the tape index and watch some tape. That dude, he's like a rock'em sock'em robot. Like there's no fluidity or movement whatsoever. Just like it's stiff as shit. And I think Billy's just going to be too fast, too durable, too in his face, too versatile. I think Billy dominates this fight, and I think these odds are solid. The long layoff is the only real issue here, but I think he should be fine. He's just a dog, a Connecticut dog. Then we have the co-main event of the evening. This is a very good matchup. This matchup matters quite a bit. And this is this feels like it could be the featured prelim of a pay-per-view card. Maybe even a pay-per-view main card opener, because Mateusz Gamrot, divisional staple, ranked in the top 10. Leavitt Klein on a nice little streak here. Unbelievable striker, looking to break into the top 10. This is a great matchup that has implications for the division. And anytime you give me a fight that matters, I'm good with it. And this fight matters. We got Mateusz Gamrot, as we know, nasty wrestler. Decent striking, diverse set of attacks. He doesn't really have incredible power in his feet, but he's busy. He'll push a pace. Gamrot can out-wrestle pretty much everybody in the division. He's got a relentless pace, non-stop takedown attempts. Unfortunately, he's chinny as shit. Unbelievably chinny. And even though his striking technique is there, the chin is not. He hasn't flat been put out yet, but he gets dropped in basically every single fight. He's been dropped in 6 of his 10 UFC fights, including his last fight against Dan Hooker. They didn't officially record it as a drop, but he got knocked down in that fight in the first round. He's taking on Leavitt Klein. Leavitt Klein's a very good striker. He's smooth, he's fast, he's accurate. He does a really nice job keeping fights technical and hiding kicks behind his jab. He never throws anything lazy or gets out of position. He has a solid 90% takedown defense and will look to offensively wrestle if he's losing the striking exchanges. He's coming off that minus 1,000 win over Roosevelt Roberts, where he was fast and powerful, but not the killer that you expected him to be at those odds. And when I was breaking down Gamrot versus Hooker, I wanted to pick Dan Hooker with every fiber of my being. I even texted Jacob and Josh, the web guy, not Thompson, that I'm picking Dan Hooker. And I was met with ridicule. Ridicule. I ultimately changed my pick because of peer pressure. And that was a mistake. Because that fight, exactly as I thought it was going to go. That went exactly as I thought it was going to go. Gamrot got dropped, had some wrestling success, but not a ton. And this fight could be almost identical. Gamrot can have some wrestling success, but Klein lands clean a few times and takes over. If this fight was not in Las Vegas, I'd probably pick Gamrot here because Vegas hates wrestlers and doesn't care at all about takedowns or control time. Then I think Ludovic Klein's a great play here because he's going to do the damage on the feet. He's going to be the one looking to win the fight, while Gamrot's just going to be looking to hold on for dear life. As long as Ludovic is not paralyzed by the idea of takedowns coming his way, Ludovic should win this fight. Ludovic's going to be the pick, but because I'm a scaredy cat, instead of outright betting on Ludovic, I'll probably do a win inside the distance decision, no action, because any finished upside is going to be on the Ludovic side. Maybe a plus 3.5. We're probably going to need these odds to widen a little bit. But inside the distance decision, no action is going to be the pick here. Or the play, at least, the bet. Because Ludovic has all the power. Metaus is chinny. And if Metaus wins, it's just going to be takedown fest. And the judges can't ignore all the takedowns and all the control time. Then we have the main event of the evening. We have Erin Blanchfield taking on Macy Barber. I mentioned this is number 4 in the world versus number 5 in the world. Erin Blanchfield is number 4 on planet Earth. Macy Barber is number 5 on planet Earth. These are the matches that you need to get. The people ranked right next to each other. And maybe they'll flip, maybe they'll stay where they are, but that's why the rankings matter, and this will set up potentially a future title shot for one of these women. Erin Blanchfield's a nasty grappler. She comes forward, she throws punches for about a minute, then she starts working the grappling. She's still pretty young at 26 years old. She's cleaning things up. She's improving quickly, and up until her last fight, people were calling her the next world champion. Sorry, 2 fights ago. She averages around 6 significant strikes landed per minute, 2 takedowns per fight. She is coming off that bounce-back win over Rose Namajunas, where she had a pair of takedowns and 9 minutes of control time over a former world champion. She's taking on Macy Barber. Macy Barber's a solid striker with very good boxing and improved wrestling. She's not a grappler in style, but she does have some well-timed takedowns when she needs them, and she was able to take down Montana De La Rosa, Jessica I, Miranda Maverick, Andrea Lee, and most recently, Ketlen Chukagian, now Seminara. Her takedown defense is a mid-level 53%, which could be a problem in this matchup. She's been taken down 12 times in the UFC, including once in her last fight. She's coming off that decision win over Ketlen Chukagian, or Sarah Minara. She got married. Where the striking was clean, and so were the takedowns. People are probably going to complain about this matchup. Everybody loves to bitch when you get a lady main event, but the reality is that the fight itself should be fun. The style clashing should be interesting. And then we have 2 top 10 fighters, top 5 more specifically, working for a title shot. Anytime you get a matchup that is meaningful to the division, you can't really complain. Things are falling into place on their own. There's no fake storyline, no narratives, just 2 highly ranked fighters getting after it. And this is an interesting matchup because both women are tough. Both of them are well-rounded. It's definitely a clash of styles. Barber's going to want to be the busier striker, while Blanchfield's going to want to get this fight to the ground. If Barber was bigger, I would break this fight down the exact same way I did the Blanchfield versus Manon Fiorot fight, where we picked Manon Fiorot. But Barber's not bigger. I don't think she's going to be strong enough to just shuck off Erin Blanchfield. So she's going to have to stay very far away. She's going to throw kicks, and Erin's going to catch him. She's going to hit Erin in the face a shit ton. But Erin's just going to move forward. Erin is tough as hell. She's like I don't want to quite say the 2.0 version of Mackenzie Dern, because Mackenzie Dern actually has been improving. But Erin Blanchfield will take a beating and just move forward at all costs, no matter what. So if Erin Blanchfield continues to move forward, continues to stay in Macy's face, even if she's getting touched up, she could have success. We just watched Julian Rosa have some success against Mel Costa, and Mel Costa was better 90% of that fight. I think Erin Blanchfield will have a ton of success moving forward and be able to get it to the ground and then have a bunch of success there. Erin Blanchfield is going to be the pick. The round line is going to be interesting here because Erin Blanchfield could certainly win by finish on the ground, but I don't think she will. I think she'll end up on the ground. I think we'll have a couple of close calls. I think she wins this fight, but we probably get a decision. Macy Barber at this point, pretty well-rounded. She did deal with some injuries, a little bit of a layoff here. That may or may not be a factor with ring rust, but Erin Blanchfield's the pick. She's almost a 2-1 favorite, so it's not as if I'm telling you anything you probably don't already know. But this should be a really fun fight, and I am looking forward to it. Guys, that is the breakdown. Do me a favor, download the app. If you haven't, it's 100% free. At the very least, you'll get push notifications. And sometimes the push notifications matter, meaning If you're a premium member, you'll get premium push notifications. If you're not a premium member, you will still get push notifications. Sometimes we do new content. Sometimes we randomly will go live and you didn't know we were about to. Other times, like at UFC 313, fights get canceled very last second, right before the card goes live. And we tell you, hey, these fights were canceled. Adjust your lineups, make your changes. So download the app. Just search We Want Picks in the App Store. Become a premium member. I mentioned we just added features to the fight simulator. You now have a sliding bar with the averages on the outputs of the simulation. So if your sportsbook has strike lines or takedown lines, you can see what the average is. You can move the slider. And then after you move the slider, the simulator will tell you the probability of them going over or under that line. Then you go to your sportsbook, see what the line is. And if it makes sense, then you have your bet. Simulator did the work for you. We also have a tape index for all of you who like to do your own research and watch the fights yourselves. The $10 for an entire month saves you more than an hour's worth of time, and I assume you make more than $10 an hour. We have the brand new optimizer that does all the things a drafting optimizer should do, but now with a beginner mode to help walk you through the individual steps to ask you some normal human questions instead of expecting you to understand math. We have the data analyzer, which allows you to deep dive data, stack filters, tell whatever story you want to tell, or let the story come to you. Every single thing that I'm mentioning right now is available on the website, including the line movement tracker. This will give you the opening odds, current odds, win probability, and line movement for every fighter on every card. The prop hunter, a curated set of data specifically designed to help you find prop bets. And more than just me, BetSam made some money at UFC Vegas 106. Artem is picking regional cards. We call him the regional Rain Man. It's unbelievable what he's doing. And the artificial intelligence is picking fights based solely off of historical data. Every single thing that I just mentioned is only $10. Not $10 for each, which still would be phenomenal pricing. $10 total. One package, $10. Everything that we offer. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. Thank you for the watch. Genuinely, I talked in the beginning of this video. 35,000, almost 36,000 subscribers. But YouTube analytics say 80,000 repeat viewers. And obviously, we do a lot of different videos. So not 80,000 on this video's never gotten 80,000 views. But 20,000 on this video, another 20 on the lock of the week, 20 on the mid-fight show, the one I do with Jacob live on Tuesdays, then the recap video, maybe live streams. Jacob just went live. A lot of you across multiple videos. A lot of you haven't clicked that subscribe button. Do that. I'm obsessed with numbers. I am obsessed with the numbers going up. It genuinely, and this shouldn't be the case, it affects my mental health. I need to see numbers go up. Do me a favor. Click the button. Like, subscribe, do all things. I genuinely appreciate every last one of you. Thank you for everything.